The southeastern port city of Busan turned completely purple going into the weekend, just like the Lavender Festival that Arang mentioned earlier, as BTS brought their world tour to the city on June 12th and 13th. Not only was the concert venue packed with fans, but airports, traditional markets, and neighborhood streets, you name it, were buzzing with armies from around the world. Now, joining us live from Busan today is CedarBough Saeji, Assistant Professor of Korean and East Asian Studies at Pusan National University, and an army herself to tell us what the atmosphere was like on the ground. Hello, Professor Saeji.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, good to see you and happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Professor Saeji. And you probably said happy birthday to BTS on the weekend. So please tell us, what was the atmosphere like? Please describe how, the excitement was that you witnessed firsthand.
Well, the whole city was just, as you already mentioned, transformed. Even people with no interest in BTS were so happy to see all of these foreign guests coming to the city, and city was just completely decorated, subway stations and locations around the city. Everywhere you went, there were little pop-up events, and there were foreign guests exploring things that you would never have expected. And of course, there were special drone and fireworks shows and all kinds of other events to make it even more exciting.
Right, and Professor, you were lucky enough to attend the concert yourself, and as we know, these tickets are incredibly difficult. So how did you manage to get your hand on the golden ticket? Was it very, very hard for you?
Well, to get tickets for any K-pop show, you need three things. First, you have to make sure your membership is up to date, and you need to join the verified fan club purchasing. Of course, you need very fast internet, and finally, you need luck. If my internet was faster, maybe I would have had a better seat. But actually, the shape of the stadium in Busan meant that I had a good view, even though I was on the third floor. And of course, it also helps if you're experienced at the ticketing system and if you know how to make your payment go through before the cart expires. So a lot of foreign guests sometimes struggle with things like this unfamiliar ticketing system and the payment step.
Right. Well, we're very glad that you had a great view at the concert, Professor. So what was the most memorable performance or moment for you? And earlier we heard from our reporter Seong about the cheering culture in Korea. So how would you describe the energy and reactions of the audience inside the venue?
Well, there's so many things to mention. As a side note, BTS prepared gifts for the fans beyond the gift of their music and energy. And so fans who attended the Busan concerts, they went home with totally unique and special items from BTS. In fact, right now, I am wearing solid perfume that they gave us. It smells really good. And that gives you a lasting feeling of something special, participating in the anniversary of the group. But instead of us giving them presents, they gave us presents. For me, during the concert, it was incredibly powerful to hear Normal sung in Korean. The lyrics to the song feel so much more personal in Korean than English because that's the language of their heart, so to speak. It was also awesome to hear Ma City live in Busan. And tying into the cheering culture, J-Hope brought up Korea's win in the World Cup match and led the audience in a chant of 대한민국, and it was just electrifying. Everybody in there was so excited about not just BTS, but also the World Cup. But there were so many incredible moments, not just the performance, but these really touching friendships between ARMY. And I spoke with so many different fans outside the stadium for several hours, and I met people who'd come from Russia, from India, from Canada, New Zealand, Indonesia, and a really surprisingly large number from the Philippines. I even ran into my own former student from Iran.
Wow.
And I sent you some photos of the people that I saw. A lot of people were wearing hanbok, and some of them had purchased hanbok online, but most of them either made their hanbok or like their mother made it for them. So they were these sort of slightly different interpretations of what hanbok is. And my favorite was from a fan from Indonesia who had a jogari made, but with Indonesian batik fabric. And it was just so special. Everyone I met was vibrating with this level of excitement. And then when the music finally began, this vibration was just channeled into a stream of pure joy, pure energy, just directed right at these artists.
Wow, incredible, Professor Saeji. We can really feel that energy from the weekend, and probably maybe in the future we could even have that fragrance transferred through the screen. So I'm really happy that you enjoyed this so much. Now, Busan especially has a special connection with BTS. I mean, as Walter earlier mentioned, it's the hometown of both Jimin and Jungkook, and fans still remember the group's 2022 concert in the city as well. So what do you think it meant to fans that Busan was chosen as the second Korean stop of this tour after Goyang?
Well, I think Busan for Festa is just sort of a BTS tradition. For long-term fans of BTS and for Korean fans, it was really meaningful. But unfortunately, the organization at the stadium was quite weak, and due to poor management issues, fans couldn't enter easily. Finally, the concert on Friday was delayed by 75 minutes. And inside the venue, we had no idea what was going on. For 40 minutes, there wasn't even an announcement. But I think delaying the start was really wise, because if they had started when people were still lined up at the gate, there could have been a crowd crush. And then after the concert ended, the transportation system was completely overwhelmed. You know, the buses stopped running because it was quite late. And there were many stories of people online who reached their hotels only through the kindness of Busanites who took stranded fans in their personal cars to hotels, or paid for Kakao taxis for fans that didn't know how to do that. I myself, I had to walk several kilometers to a transfer station before I could enter the subway system. So it's unfortunate that the venue and transportation infrastructure wasn't better prepared. And it was sad to see online demands that BTS not perform in Busan again, even demands that they hold Festa in a foreign country. And J-Hope responded to that by reminding fans how special it is for the members to perform in Korea, the place that they're from.
It's probably a very difficult task to prepare such a huge concert with such a big demand.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with a group as big as BTS, the biggest group that K-pop has ever seen. I mean, it would be very difficult to have all those fans in order trying to get from, you know, the concert back to where they are staying. But the excitement extended far beyond the concert venue, Professor. We could obviously feel it from you at the moment still, and it's in the studio at now, with the BTS themed events taking place, you know, across the city as well, also just catching on. Which locations seem to attract the most fans, and how did Busan welcome the influx of armies? I mean, you just talked about how many there were.
Well, I think that Busan people were really, really excited, and a lot of really cute stories of people just interacting with people in Busan who were just trying to show them across language barriers just how happy they were to have them there. In terms of the different events, I saw on social media that the pop-up at Shinsegae department store was very popular, but that required reservations. Therefore, the more widely appreciated sites were probably things that were free to view and visit. There was a Keep Swimming sand sculpture on Haeundae Beach. There was this really, really big advertising billboard. There were listening stations set up, like at Busan Station, Samsung pop-up. People who attended these various pop-ups and little events said that the staff were so excited and warm and encouraging. And of course, when fans come to Busan, going to ZM Millennial, Jimin's dad's cafe is sort of an important side quest. And from what I heard, the cafe worked really hard to make sure that no matter how many guests showed up, they could still give them a good experience.
Yes, this concert was a great transformation for Busan, and it felt like a citywide festival almost. In your view, what is the most significant impact that BTS has had on Busan as a city?
Well, it's hard to say, but, talking to my local Korean friends, people I exercise with, restaurant owners in my neighborhood, people like that, they feel so much hometown pride for BTS. It's almost like the people in Busan have claimed all 7 members as sons of the city. They're very conscious also of Busan's status as a top tourism destination. It's one of the fastest growing destinations in the world right now. And so ordinary citizens in Busan are pretty confident that foreign visitors are going to love Busan, and they're proud of the seaside beauty on offer. But still, some of the older locals have this sort of surprise, at the huge foreign interest in Korea, in Korean things, in Korean culture. And for them to see this very visible influx of so many thousands of foreign visitors all at the same weekend, on the subway, in the bus, in the restaurants, on the street, that I think was really, really powerful. And I'd really like to shout out to how the people in Busan were so welcoming, and the Busan city tried really hard to clear up the problems from Friday night. And they also did things like trying to secure free temple stays for people who couldn't find other accommodations. So I do think that Busan was trying really hard. And I do know that if we have another BTS concert here in the future, I know that Busan City will have learned how to do an even better job. But everybody here just absolutely loves all 7 members, perhaps particularly the hometown boys, Jimin and Jungkook.
Right. And Professor Saeji, just very briefly, BTS will now continue their tour across Europe. So what do you say? What are the expectations for the rest of the concerts?
I mean, it's hard to underestimate, it's hard to overestimate how excited people are, because, all these concerts are happening in these new places that have never had, cities that have never had a concert, countries that have never had a concert from any K-pop star. BTS is truly bringing K-pop to the world, just demonstrating this unprecedented level of popularity, unprecedented size of their fandom. Things are just, they've sold out everywhere, all the tickets, and I know that they are going to be warmly welcomed everywhere they go. And BTS leading the way into these new places will only expand the market for everybody in the industry.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Saeji, for your insights as well as sharing your experience on the ground. And yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day.
Thanks. And thank you, Walter. Have a great day, and we're going to see you back soon.
See you soon.